Calxiyn and Hunter here. If you guys enjoyed this video, you guys should become patrons over on Patreon to support the channel, and you guys should subscribe for daily RWBY videos. So, Hunter and I already made a Bumblebee video, but guess the fuck what?
Oh, we've made several.
I know, but like, literally 3 days after we recorded the original Bumblebee video, right? Aaron and Barbara fucking went insane. So, this is like an update. We're gonna talk about the newest information first, but I'm gonna keep the old version of the video so you guys can see it. So basically, all
of our funny jokes we made.
We recorded. If I have the purple hair, we recorded on Sunday. If I have my regular hair, we're recording on Monday. So this is after RWBY Rewind. So the first part of this video is gonna be us kind of gushing about the new information. The other part of the video where we switch back to our old outfits is us going to be gushing about the old information, and most of you won't watch past 3 minutes anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. Anyways, so it all started the other day when Aaron got a Bumblebee tattoo.
Did she actually? Because when I saw that, I thought it was like, like something like that was imposed by the camera, but no, it's a legit.
It's real, and so she had been going crazy like during the premiere. Like she had just been going like, if you read her Twitter thread, I can't even explain it. Like it's just
it has like really
aggressive bi moods, like aggressive bi energy. You know what I mean? But when she got the tattoo, I'm like, okay. She said that it's like to commemorate her sort of friendship with Barbara, which I get.
That's
right?
cute.
I get that. That's cute.
Friendship,
that's some cute
tattoos.
shit, right?
People get that.
But if I was getting something on my body forever, I would not get something that represents a ship that never sailed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for example, okay, so say Hunter and I were in a relationship and there was some sort of animal symbol that represented us. Let's say it's a dolphin. Because that's the animal that I just picked. Let's say it's a dolphin, sure. Or, I don't know, like,
or a horse.
Oh god, that's a reference to our podcast that you guys should go watch. That'll be out next week. Or, like, for example, like, say, like, I guess Arnold's an easy example because he's Murder of Birds, so if somebody got a bird tattoo to, like, remember their relationship, like, and then it's like, if the ship doesn't sail, if Bumblebee doesn't happen, it's sort of like, if you get a tattoo with your boyfriend's name, but then you break up. Like, obviously, it's a nice thing to have with Barbara, but Bumblebee represents Blake and Yang. Like, it represents the ship. It represents the romance. It doesn't necessarily... And I'm not going to judge what people think their tattoos have meanings of. You know what I mean? I think that it's great that Aaron did it. Like, if it is just to, like, commemorate her friendship with Barbara, it's cool. But with how aggressive Aaron has been on Twitter, I'm starting to think that it's not just that. And she talked about her pride, like her pride in her role as Blake. So I think that Bumblebee is more,
What's another group that tends to use the phrase
I think that it's more than just a tattoo to commemorate her friendship with Barbara. And she can't necessarily
I'm a dumb person and I need this.
You know what I mean? I think it's also supposed to represent, if Blake and Yang turn out to both be gay, it's sort of Aaron is bisexual, right? Well, I mean, people have liked guys and then turned out to be lesbians.
That's true.
So
I'm just like, you'd be gay too if you dated Adam fucking Tardis.
Anyway, so
that's not how it works, children.
Anyway, so the point is that I feel like it's sort of more, I feel like it's also supposed to represent, like, Blake as a character and sort of maybe her coming out and stuff like that. Obviously, it probably represents what she says it does, like her friendship with Barbara, but I think they do seem close, right? But I'm thinking it's also maybe representative of her sort of feelings about the two characters and about, like, how she feels about Blake and sort of what Blake has overcome with Yang, and then it may be something more romantic. Because I'm just saying, if I was a voice actor and I knew that Bumblebee was a popular ship, say I'm voice acting Yang, even though my voice doesn't fit her at all, I would not get a Bumblebee tattoo. Even if I was best friends with Aaron, I would not, because that is like opening a can of worms that you don't want to open. And so,
it was on her side, right?
It's on her arm.
Oh, it's on her arm?
It's like, it's right here. Like, it is on her, right? And so, that is permanent. That is a permanent tattoo, Aaron. And a lot of people are like, well, you can't use the tattoo as ship confirmation. And we're not. Like, we're not using it as, oh, the ship is confirmed now. No. But we're just saying that it's a little suspicious.
This may be counting your age before they hatch, right?
But you're getting
But those eggs are fucking rattling,
too,
all right?
You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal. And, like, even if it's just like, well, Barbara and I are friends. Like, I'm sure there are other things that have represented their friendship that aren't related to the ship that she could have chosen. But she chose shows that Bumblebee right here on her arm.
And I feel like
there for the rest of her life.
People got mad at her for teasing Bumblebee stuff.
I don't think that she's teasing it.
When it came to like the Bumble song.
Oh,
Remember that, and that was a whole fiasco. So I feel like she's more sensitive about that.
I feel like she knows things.
So I feel like unless she was certain it would happen soon, she wouldn't
because she has literally gone off on Twitter, if you want to call it that. Like she has posted so much, and she got like a bit harassed for the Bumblebee song by like people that like Black Sun, and also
even people that like meant well. You know?
And so it's one of those things where it's like, Erin knows to be careful, and that's why I feel like she's been pretty quiet, but now she's just going all out, so there has to be some sort of reason, at least to me. Then, we get to RWBY Rewind. Barbara says something like this. Barbara says, I don't remember. One of the hosts says something about Bumblebee. Like, talking about Erin's tattoo. Like, is this, like, evidence that Bumblebee is gonna say? I think he's talking about that too. I don't remember, and the live stream isn't archived until a couple days later, so I can't go find it right now. But Barbara says, like, listen, I know there's a lot of people in the community that are saying that the fans had influence, and that if things happen, it'll be because of the fans, but those people have to remember that Monty and, like, them had planned stuff since the beginning, so just keep watching.
Also,
and that, to me, translates as people in the community are saying if Bumblebee happens, it was forced. It was because of the fans. It was pandering and fan service. And we did a fan service video this week before Barbara had said this. Right? And so I'll probably just put a pinned tweet under that, like, hey, Barbara said this about that. If Monty planned it from the beginning, and a lot
people are like, which he did,
Bumblebee would be pissing on Monty's grave. Like, people are saying that, he said that it's there's already, we're gonna have LGBT characters in the show, and even like he basically says some characters could already be LGBT. They're just growing up. They haven't discovered yet, right? And so I feel like people that use Monty as some sort of weapon is disgusting. Yeah, like, I would not feel I would never feel, if people feel comfortable doing that, that's disturbing. That's what I'm saying, is that...
So you weren't in the room...
Exactly. Like, I met him at a convention once. I know what he would have wanted. Like, no. And so people are gonna say, oh, well, Monty didn't want this. Miles and Carrie added it because it's the shippers, right? But I truly believe that if Bumblebee happens, it's because Monty wanted it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he would have been the type to plan the relationships out. Like, I feel like he did that with Renora, and he probably did that with Arcos. Like, that was probably the idea. And we won't know, but there is some sort of tome somewhere of Monty's notes and what he wanted to happen.
There's been circulation of old videos of Erin, like, she was grabbing a computer, and she was like, you saw this one, right?
Yeah, can we tell them it's canon yet? And Monty's like, no.
Yeah, like, it was just, where it's like, where she's being very, or like, she like starts dancing in the background when like, are there gonna be queer characters? And she starts dancing, and just like, listen.
It's gonna be a 20-minute video by the time we add it to the other one.
There's been evidence of this for a very long time, and it's like, well, just
if y'all say it's pandering, go watch our fan service video, because I drag y'all.
Watch a different show, because I still like it, and even if it was pandering,
I don't care.
I don't care, because it's done very well.
Do you hear that, Hunter?
What do you? I don't.
It's the sound of me not caring.
So I would like it either way.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was probably planned from the beginning, and y'all can suck it if y'all think that.
And really, they've done a good job.
And even if it wasn't, your story progresses over time.
Yeah.
And the problem with TV sometimes is that you can't go back and rewrite something. And the problem with books too. But with a book, you could rewrite over and over until you submit it to an agent. Right? You could rewrite it 10 times over. They can't do that with RWBY. And so I feel like with this, their story is evolving. And so maybe things weren't planned from the beginning, but things happen. Like, you realize, oh, these two characters actually have chemistry that we didn't notice before, or whatever the case may be. But it seems like from Barbara's words, if Bumblebee does happen, she's basically saying, yeah, this is what Monty wanted from the beginning, and we all knew it. Like, on the team, we all knew it. Okay. So that's our little update. Now you guys are going to be transitioned in to our old video.
They look so happy. Remember those days? God, that was...
Which means that this video is now yelling about Bumblebee for 20 minutes, probably, by the time it's done.
Yes.
So we're going to...
Probably.
We're going to segue into that other video. I'll have the purple hair, and you guys will know what time it's from. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hello everybody, it is Calxiyn and Hunter here. If you guys enjoyed this video, you guys should become patrons over on Patreon, but you guys should subscribe. So today we're basically just talking about Bumblebee again. This isn't really like a particular video. Last week we were like, oh, well maybe is it going to be canon this volume? Will it at least be cemented? So in moving forward in other volumes, we'll start to see its canonity. Will they get together? And so basically the gist of that video was they probably won't get together like Ren and Nora have, but it will be cemented that, you know, going forward there's some romantic feeling between them. So I wanted to talk about it again because there were moments in this episode, and it seems like Erin was very excited about certain moments because she is very bisexual on Twitter, and I mean she is actually bi in case anybody's wondering. But she was just very gay about it. You know what I'm saying? Lindsay Ellis? You mean
different
Lindsay
Jones? Different, but Lindsay Ellis also bi, so you know it works
out.
But
yeah, so I just wanted to talk about it, okay? And I know that there are going to be people that say certain things, and so I'm going to let.
Do you want me to devil's advocate?
Yeah, I'll let you do it after. But here's my thing, okay? Mm-hmm. Like the whole thing with Blake and Yang has sort of been trying to resolve what Yang sees as an issue. That Yang sort of needed Blake and Blake left, right? Yes. And
she feels abandoned.
Yeah,
and that she can no longer trust. There's a breakdown.
And she has some trust issues. And we talked about comparisons between like Raven and Blake in other volumes, and like, oh, well, maybe Yang is
sort of like my
feeling,
mom.
Yeah, basically feeling that again. But this volume, when Blake finally comes back, I feel like Yang realizes, or last volume, I guess, but like she's really back this volume. Like Yang realizes that, you know, all that matters is that Blake is back. Like that's just the name of the song that plays. You know what I mean? And
Blake's
so all
back.
of her,
whoa. Anyways,
all of her sort of anger sort of goes away because she realizes no, like the anger and like what happened in the past isn't important. And even like she says that in Armed and Ready to some extent, like the past is in the past, right? It's sort of like no, like we're together now. Like this is sort of our future. And so people have, and I'll explain this before Hunter gets into it, but people have taken this scene as, oh, well, they're okay now, they're friends. But I don't think them being friends again was ever the issue, because it wasn't like, I don't think Blake or Yang or either of them were like, well, we're not friends anymore, we're like, we've broken up, like, we hate each other. Like, it's not like some high school drama, it's just that they're friends who had an issue, and that issue needed to be resolved. And so
they don't, but the thing is that I think with
But I think that it was resolved, I think that it was resolved in Volume 5 to some extent. Like, I feel like Yang wasn't angry anymore, and so what had to be resolved in this season was more about Blake babying her. And like, no, you can't protect yourself, I need to protect you, because that happens when she has to take down the bag, and that happens, like, you know, in sort of the cabin, like, if Adam ever comes back, I would protect you, right? Like, that's the issue at hand, is that it's how Blake is treating Yang now that Blake is back, not that Yang didn't want her to come back or any of that.
I feel like Yang in that scene's just like, yeah, if you can. Like, she's like, that implies like...
What do you mean?
Didn't she... Isn't like when she's like, we can fight them together, Blake says, right?
What do you mean?
In the scene in the
barn. If Adam ever comes back, I'll protect you. And
who
then
Yang
says
that to who? Yeah,
Blake says that. And Yang gets angry because Yang is like, no, I don't want to be protected. Like, I want to fight together. Yang never says that, but that's what's implied.
Is it protected? Because you could also view that as like... Once again, I don't necessarily feel this way, but devil's advocating.
Well, your devil's advocate argument is already bad, so
well, no, what if it's just like, well, you fucking left me before when I needed you, so what if, I even trust you? I feel like that's not an illegitimate interpretation.
It wouldn't have been back then, but now it comes full circle, right? Yeah. With Blake is like, I'm not protecting her, she's not protecting me, we're protecting each other.
Yeah, no.
So that idea is invalid now, because the foreshadowing back then was supposed to be that Blake said that she would protect Yang, and then Blake would later realize that they are protecting each other. Like, that's a connecting story arc.
That works.
Right? And so it's not necessarily, like, I understand if people thought that before, but now we see, when there are reoccurring lines in any piece of fiction, it's usually connected to the last line somehow. You know what I mean? And so the last line was, I'll protect you, and then that changed to, we'll protect each other, because Blake learned and she grew. And so I feel like people are like, well, it just means they're friends again. It's not romantic. It doesn't have to be. But I feel like hand-holding to me is inherently sort of a romantic action. I don't just randomly hold hands with my friends.
Yes, you did. You keep on holding my hand.
I know, but we're watching something and that's stressful. But I mean, like, when I'm just like...
Not really.
Yeah.
We were reacting to shit and you were just like, ooh.
Yeah, I know, because I was like, it's moral support, you know what I mean? Like, because we're watching RWBY and it's, like, intense, right? And so I need something...
I don't know. Also, I feel like with
if there was, like, a giant teddy bear here, I would still
There's a difference between like male and female versions of like acceptable friendship affection.
Yeah.
And like holding hands with women, that's more accepted as a friendship thing.
Yeah, but I feel like that's people's problem, is that they're, like, you said, we tried to do a first take, and Hunter said in that take, like, I'm gonna be devil's advocate, and the devils are the straight people, because that's just how it is. And, no, because you are viewing it through sort of a heterosexual lens of things. If Yang was a guy, or if Yang was Sun, and they were holding hands like this.
That's what the straight people are watching.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, if it was Sun, and they were holding hands like that in a scene where they were fighting Adam, do not tell me that you guys wouldn't consider that as shipping, because that is total bullshit, okay?
Oh, yeah,
and so here's the problem with people, is that people are...
That's the straight thing, I told you.
Yeah, I know, it's a straight people... right? And I don't randomly just hold hands with my friends, okay? Like, Hunter and I don't go to the movies, and we're not, like, holding hands together, and we're not, like, you know, going around the movie theater like this. Like, even if Hunter was a girl, I probably wouldn't do that. Or even if, like,
No, I've seen that because I've seen that before. Like, I remember in high school, the girl you had a crush on, who was your friend, held your hand.
I know, but she was like... But
like
then I liked her, and so that's a lot.
That was
you know
a girl
I mean?
She didn't like you.
No.
That was the girl. That was like I think the difference between the female form of affection.
I guess, but I feel like that at the same time, that situation was sort of like, I don't know, like she's also bi, and so it was more of a teasing thing.
She wasn't bi for you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that it's like, yeah, I'm sure girls hold hands, but like, I wouldn't. You know what I mean? I'm sure.
You're already basically
I'm sure that like
you cut the sleeves off that shirt.
I'm sure that like straight girls hold hands with each other, but if two gay girls are holding hands with each other, it means something different. You know what I mean? But yeah, so people are just, I don't know. I'm just really annoyed that people are like, well, it's just friends holding hands. It's just gals being pals.
Well,
like,
that's
no,
the thing.
like,
well, that's the
stupid.
thing. Is that like because a lot of their conflict has been like, oh, they have issues with each other.
Yeah.
They don't have.
But
like,
I feel like even those issues
they're
are
not
almost...
even like friends. But this was the end of it. So people view that as like, oh, they're friends again, and then you view that as like, oh, this is the start of like the possibility of a romantic.
Yeah, because here's the thing.
And
too,
it's just a different perspective.
I think even their conflict was almost inherently romantic. Like feeling abandoned. Adam feels abandoned by Blake, and then Yang.
You can feel abandoned by a friend.
Adam feels abandoned by Blake, and then Blake feels abandoned by Yang. And it's sort of this contrast because it's how Adam reacted versus how Blake reacted. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that in sort of Yang's dialogue, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like if I don't know, I've had other friends that just don't keep in contact, and I just haven't cared or whatever. I've been abandoned by friends, you know what I mean? And I haven't necessarily reacted in that way. And I get their relationship is different, but that's what I'm saying is that
you also never you weren't like bonded in the sisterhood of combat, and the last time you saw each other wasn't when you experienced grievous bodily harm.
But I'm saying
I feel like there's a significant difference between the.
All I'm saying is it seems almost like a inherently romantic conflict because that is also the conflict that Adam has. You abandoned me, Blake, and then Yang feels the same way. I feel like it's supposed to be sort of a writing contrast. You don't need to play devil's advocate anymore, Hunter. They lost.
But I'm just saying like it's not unreasonable just to view that I think as a friendship thing.
I don't think it's unreasonable, but I think it's narrow-minded because I think it comes from a place of straightness.
I don't think being abandoned is inherently a. You can feel abandoned by your friend.
You can, but I'm saying that in the way that she felt it. Like, specifically, like, seeing her interactions, it didn't seem like just a friendship thing. What if I needed, like, Blake for me? Like, she says that to Weiss, and it's just like, okay, I guess Weiss and RWBY aren't good enough for you, like, even though they're friends.
You can need friends, too. I'm just saying
I know that, but I'm saying in her specific way, Hunter. I know in the general sense you can, but I'm saying
even in her specific way, I feel like people could view it as that. I didn't.
Well, I mean, I feel like the core problem is how people view things have to do with Yang and Blake both being girls. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Oh, and I agree with that as well.
I'm saying if it was a guy, it would be a totally different scenario. And I say stuff all the time, and I'm saying that not everybody's opinion would change if Yang was a guy, but the majority of people would change if Yang was a guy. And so that's sort of what I'm saying, because I'm sure that there are people that are probably also gay, and they're like, no, I see this as just a friendship thing. right? And so it's not necessarily just that, but I'm saying an overwhelming majority, I think, aren't taking that into consideration, or just have a bias that they don't understand.
I feel like we should take every single one of our Bumblebee videos and edit them together into Bumblebee the movie. When Bumblebee is or is yeah. That's some good shit.
And then it's just us all talking about Bumblebee.
No, it's really just funny. All of our past videos.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that would be kind of funny.
That should be if it happens. If it happens, we're doing that.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I don't know. I get mad at people.
I'm very excited to see where this goes.
Why don't you guys see what I see? You know what I mean? And it's not just sort of like me shipping it, because a lot of people are probably going to be like, well, Cal, like, you're like a rabid shipper, of course you'd see that, but it's also
you are a rabid shipper.
It's also just writing cues, though.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you are.
You know what I mean? Because I did point out, like, sort of this foreshadowing, and Blake holds her hand there too. But then it's just sort of Blake holding Yang's hand, and then
you don't have to grab my fucking hand every time, right?
I'm displaying for the audience. But yeah.
Anyways, I do agree with a lot of what you say. Yeah.
I know that you do. But I don't like when you play devil's advocate, because I already have to listen to stupid people. I don't want people's stupid arguments coming out of your mouth. You know what I mean, Hunter?
I want everyone to agree with me!
I mean, not everybody has to agree, but I feel like that people have to recognize that there are certain
Heil Bumble!
Oh, God. No. Inappropriate. We shouldn't keep that in the video, but I'm going to so people can see that I scalded you and you're a bad, bad boy. And you should be punished. But yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, you guys should become patrons over on Patreon, join our Discord server, all that sort of stuff. Because I don't think we really have anything else to say. I just wanted to sort of talk about how things are progressing. Mm-hmm. And it seems like, yeah. I mean,
I'm really looking forward to see, because, I don't think the handhold
Melanie and, like, Aaron and, like, all these Creepy people being excited that, like, hit my gator and we know that Aaron is bi, it's just sort of like, no. Like, something is happening.
And I don't think the handhold, what I think is that you're basing everything off of the handhold. I feel like the handhold isn't I feel like there's going to be like another crescendo of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just basing things off the information we have now. And this particular handhold scene is what's causing debate, if you even want to call it.
I think that
so that's why I'm pointing
we're probably going to do another one of these videos so that our final Bumblebee supercut is going to be even longer.
But, I mean, we've talked about Bumblebee evidence in our first Bumblebee shipping video, and so we've never really needed to go back there, if that makes sense. Like, we've never had to redo it again.
No, we've redone it because things have...
We haven't done an actual shipping part two to it.
We've
talked about it in other circumstances.
We've done other videos which are more or less talking about Bumblebee
I know, but we haven't done an official Do You Ship It. So when it's canon, we'll do a Do You Ship It Bumblebee part 2.
And then we'll do the Do You Ship the Bee movie.
Yes, exactly. That's so funny. Anyway, that's all. But yeah, I like this moment. I think this is a good moment. This is a good, solid moment. I also love how Ilya's in your shirt. Ilya's just like, no!
Ilya's watching on your shirt the whole time like, that blonde bitch.
Oh gosh. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys want to support the channel, you guys should be patrons just like our wonderful patrons whose names will come on the screen now. $10 patrons get videos sometimes 2 weeks in advance, sometimes 3 weeks in advance, basically much, much earlier than anyone else. They can also request us to do a video for them, so this could be a reaction, a theory, a discussion, anything like that. Our $5 patrons get a week in advance early access, or somewhere within that time frame, so between 2 days early and 7 days early, basically, but usually it's 7 days early, because I'm good with my scheduling. Anyway, our $1 patrons and all of our patrons above the $1 tier get access to our Discord server, so if you guys want to talk with us, talk with other fans of whatever you're watching right now, you guys can, and I hope that we will see you there. Bye.